And I really wanted to speak to ballet dancers as well, because two of my children are ballet dancers, and they're really the project started because of them, because I saw how they were affected. And I think it's also important that people know, you know, that what a ballet dancer, for example, goes through in lockdown.
It's really difficult, actually. It's already 1 year that we are in this situation. And in Prague, it's I have to say we are really lucky, because we are a state company, the Czech National Ballet. So from the beginning of the lockdown, we got the full salaries, and of course without the bonus of the performances, but we are fully paid, and we are really lucky that we continue to train. Like every day we have possibility to, we have our studios, and we keep going with the rehearsals and the classes. But of course, without performance, our job lose a bit the meaning of why we are doing this job, why we are waking up every day and training our body for what exactly. And I think a dancer doesn't work just for himself, but the goal of our profession is to give something to an audience, to perform, and to give a performance. And without this, it's really difficult, like by time, to realize that we are losing the meaning of why we are dancing.
I see that I've spoken to many artists, and I've that what you say, that part of giving, I also discovered that, you know, in the time that I realized that is the issue at the moment, is that there's no purpose anymore for all this, and it's almost as if that was your purpose, to the performance, the giving part. Yeah.
And of course, some projects are going on. I can see around the world some ballet are filmed, and then you can watch it on TV or on internet. You can buy tickets. And we also filmed a new performance that we are going to put online, but it's totally different. It's we are, as a musician and actors, we are on stage, and the stage, it's a place where you some energies are passing through the artist to the audience, and it doesn't mean the same when you are just front of a camera. Even if you feel that many people are going to watch you and that you are sharing something, there is a different energy, of course, and a different meaning.
I hear that also, you know, that the energy from the audience, that you feel that energy while they were while they are sitting in the audience. Well, yeah. Yeah. So and the live, is that the first lockdown, were you also then all at home? Did there were no performances then?
The first lockdown, we were last year. We were really at home, no possibility to train, and the full Czech Republic was at home. So we were training basically in our kitchen, and like doing some work for the body to keep in shape. But in around May, we could train again slowly, and by small groups with masks, of course. And we had the chance to do one performance in June, just one, for it was a kind of gala and a special performance only for doctors and all the staff of Prague. So it was a special, nice performance, like unique, that we did. And after that, it was the summer, which was quite free, actually, for everyone. We could travel, and we were off. And from middle of August, we started again. And actually, we did performances then, because in Prague, it was much better, the situation, and they opened the theater again. So during August, September, and October, we performed, luckily, and quite a lot of shows. And it was, of course, not full, but we felt really lucky, and we felt it was going again in the good way. So we almost forgot about this COVID situation.
Really?
And unfortunately, in October, it started again, like in the whole world, and in Czech Republic a lot as well. The situation was bad. So they decided like suddenly to close again. And we don't have performance from middle of October now. And they are planning to not open before probably end of May now.
End of May,
maybe.
really?
So it's a lot. It's a lot.
What I think about a lot is the body of the dancer. You know, because your body is your instrument, and that in these times where you don't move, and of course it's a different story to do something in your kitchen or in your living room than to do something in the studio. So you have this lack of space and that you used to, and then of course this interaction with other dancers while you dance. I think that's also part of a dancer's energy, you know, that you feed off from each other. And
I
this
think it's quite different, maybe. Yeah. This is quite probably different with musicians, that maybe musicians are more used to work by themselves at home. And it's really hard. We had many quarantine times when there was too much people sick, or it happened a few times that we had to stay all company 10 days at home, and it's really difficult to train. Now I have to say I was sick, so I was feeling really bad and I couldn't train at all. So it was a time that I just needed to recover. But before, in the past, when we had those quarantines, it was hard to push ourselves and to, you know, you don't have a live music, you don't have the piano to be with you, you don't have your colleagues, you don't have the energy of the teacher who is pushing you. And just by yourself, it's a very hard discipline that we are used to. But one more time, there is a miss of energy and of some hope, or something that guides you somewhere when you start to train.
Yeah, and I think what we don't also think about is that technique for you is very important, because it also prevents injury. Yeah. So you know, for good technique, you also need the stability of the bar, for example, if you do bar work, or the support of the bar. And then also, you know, you can't jump there. So there's some muscles that usually are working that's not working when you train on your own. So it's not so easy as to say, well, we can all move to online now, because that for a dancer, it's not that simple.
And we are also used, it's my ninth season in the Czech National Ballet. And from 9 years, I didn't stop. We work every day. A dancer is working every day. We are performing like five times per week. So we are constantly moving, and we are non-stopping. And the body is used to this rhythm, and it's a part of our life that we almost forget this hard rhythm that we have. It becomes natural and it becomes our life. Our body is trained like that. And suddenly this lockdown and this situation from 1 year breaks completely the rhythm. And I have to say, there is a negative part, of course, that we lose technique, or we lose strength and the rhythm of discipline. But in the same time, it was also good for me, for example, to rest and care more about my body, that I didn't do so much from many years. So suddenly we have a normal life, let's say, like a normal people, and we, I take care of myself much more, and I realize that maybe I'm gonna live longer now because I take care more about myself.
Yeah, I think was it also for you that first lockdown? It's almost like you that break, that just the time where you think, well, it will be a few weeks, so we will just have that you just have a rest. It's this ongoing thing that's really the problem, but the initial lockdown, did you also find that rest was so good to have?
It was good, but it was really stressful because we didn't know. It was a real shock to learn this, to be at home suddenly and to have no information about the future. So I remember those times where I was nervous about the situation and how it's going to be, and to be stuck at home suddenly, it was really, really strange and really difficult. But then by the time you learn how to use your time and how to think also about your work, your job, what it means and what you are missing and why you are missing something. And it's a good work of the brain. Suddenly, like I focused on many things, like, and put many questions on many things.
Yeah, I think it's this. Some artists also say that they then think about this. Why are they doing this? Why do they want to do it? And I think it's this this idea: if I lose this, what will happen? But also for dancers, I think in a way, when you dance in a company and you dance as a group, you know, as a company. So it's not for dancers this easy way of saying, so oh, I will just go freelance, or you know, if this doesn't work
really
out. So for dancers, really, it's that. Of course, there are many other possibilities, but what I mean is the security of this job is also very important.
Yes, and we are like a family, and in our job, it's really important to feel part of a group, because when we work together to make a performance and to make it good. And this is a moment that we have to really support each other and all of us, because it's hard for each person in the company, and it's also very difficult for the director, for the administrative part and the direction. They have constant questions, and it's really difficult. So for us, it's mainly to keep the hope and to keep together. Yeah, it's true.
Do you feel there's more solidarity between our dancers now? There's more a strong feeling that you are in this together, more like before?
Not more, because in our company it was always a really this nice spirit of like a group and community. And we passed through many events in our life, like a performance, the joy of performance, the joy of premieres. So I think this is a sad time, but we still feel all together and sad together, and we try to push each other to work and to keep hope.
That's wonderful.
But it's difficult, of course. It's difficult.
But in Czech, you get support now from the company, and as you say, you get your salary. But overall, do you think artists are valued, or art is valued?
You mean in other areas, like musicians?
Overall, you know, like ballet.
I think culture is quite supported, and I have not so much info. I know for the musician as well, in opera they are supported, and the main director is often contacting us, and like we can feel the boat not gonna down so fast. But I'm thinking a lot about small companies, or not only in Czech Republic but all around the world, some small group of dancers, and they cannot train because they must probably rent the studios, and they don't have money because they don't perform. And also small groups of actors or musicians, it must be really hard. That's why I'm still thinking we are very lucky here in our company, and we have to work. We have to continue working, because we must keep hope and realize that we are lucky and we cannot give up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm also, as I say, the reason why I wanted to speak to dancers as well is because I really think people have not always the right perception of what ballet is all about and what artists do. And so we visit the ballet and watch a performance, and you know, it's the costumes and it's, you know, the dancers make it look so easy. Yet there is a lot going into a performance like that. You know, it's not just some performances, you know, take a year in advance to get the costumes ready and the
Exactly,
rehearsals
yeah.
and the choreography and everything. And I wonder if we start talking about these things more and artists start talking about not you know, to say just the bad things about it or the hard things about it, but really to tell, this is what it's like to be a dancer. This is, you know, now we highlight these things because you are at home, so we can talk about this now and see, well, this is hard for me, but you know, when you're in the studio, not many people have that insight, not many, and even ballet lovers, you know, people who visit the ballet frequently, don't have that much of an insight into the what goes on behind the a performance, you know.
It's true. I always explain, for example, that when you say, oh, we have as a dancer, I have a performance every day at 7, for example, and it's 3 hours ballet, but we must, the people don't realize that we have performance at 7, but we must be from 5 into the theater to prepare really mentally about what you're gonna do, to prepare physically your body, to warming up, to prepare your costume and all your stuff. And after the performance, you have the same process backward, that you have to go out of your performance to undo your role. And anyway, our instrument, it's our body. So we bring it home and we are with our body all the time. And we cannot disconnect from our work. And our work, it's not only to arrive at 7 and do the performance and then as you close your computer and you go home. It's totally different, and you work all day, and even in the night in your dreams you work about what you're going to do on stage. And it's a full life that we are involving. And suddenly to have this situation that our job is falling down suddenly, it's changing a lot of things, how you care about your life. And yeah, we have to think about this as well.
Yeah, this is why you say, when you're saying this, that it is part of your life, and it's like, it's not just the theater that's closed, you know, it's really your life that it's a bit on hold, because everything you think about, and it's even your nutrition, you know, it's even,
Yes,
like you
it's
say,
the way we think from, we are taught from children to be dancers, and you are dancers. You don't do dance, you are dancer. So it's a really different thing than to do a job or to be your job. And I think a dancer is the perfect example of to be a job, because it's our body, it's us. It's you. It's not something that you carry with you, or as I said, the computer that you close after the work. It's the perfect example of being something. And now we are lucky that we continue to train, but for what and why, and all those questions are really deep and essential to understand our job.
And yeah, I think also for children who do ballet, of course they understand more, you know, they could, but for children to aspire to become dancers, I think it's also important to have that you know, that insight. And I think this insight into your life is how you explain it to me now, then it brings also appreciation for for your art, you know, and for the dancer. So I think this is really very important. I I um, I have this wish that we could educate children in art in schools, not just like an afternoon we go to a ballet class, but that you know,
Actually,
all
not
these,
like a
yeah, like
because
all the, yeah.
it's not a hobby. Yeah, actually, it's.
Pardon?
I was thinking, as you said, to teach it, but not like a hobby, because
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think music, dance cannot be hobbies, because of course you can dance for your pleasure and it's a nature and the music is nature, but to make an art of it, it cannot be a hobby. If you have to understand how to be involved in it like fully, and it doesn't mean you're gonna do it like you're gonna make it your job, but to understand that it's really difficult, and it's a deep meaning of those arts,
Yeah.
and they are essential. They are essential.
Yeah, it's this is why I'm thinking, you know, if children can do dance and you know, all forms of art, but if they can do it in school just like they do maths and science, that
Yeah.
they then afterwards can decide, you know, if they want to become dancers or musicians. But if they don't, then they use all these skills, because you have so many valuable skills that you know, that you take with you in being the dancer. And if you think also of dancers that stop dancing, or you know, because your careers are just have a lifespan, usually dancers who finish, they go on to do other careers very successfully, because they have this mindset and these skills, you know, of working for something, overcoming obstacles, and knowing where, you know, how far to push yourself and things like that.
Yeah.
So if we could teach these skills to or if we could develop these skills in children, how amazing would that be, you know, even if for the economies and for businesses and things like that. So yeah, so would you also agree that that would
For
be
the place of the culture, actually, for the place of the culture in our society, is that
exactly
now it's start to be lost, and yeah, the culture must have a real place. So as you said, it's coming from the school and the new generations.
Yeah. How did you start in ballet?
I started at 6 years old. My mother just wanted me to do some sport and to do something, so she put me in a school, and my best friend was there as well, and I remember we had a blue leotard, a bit shiny, so that's why I just did it in the beginning. And my teacher, I think, saw some possibilities with me and some different I don't know, grace or something, so she started to push me, and this discipline and this energy with music and everything, I went into it fully. And I got to the conservatory of Paris and a few years, and then I got my first contract here in Prague in the Czech National Ballet. I was 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. And so you just developed from this teacher. Who was this teacher that inspired you so much?
She was my first teacher, and she was really different from all the others, because actually she didn't focus on the technique in the beginning, but on the expression and on the movement, which is sometimes not the first thing that you teach to kids. You first teach to place the body, to learn the steps, but she did something different with me, and she focused on the spirit and the movement. So
Oh,
it
that's
helped me a
amazing.
lot to, I think it helped me to become a dancer, because I didn't have such a strong technique as a like dancer, but I managed with other parts of my possibilities, and now I'm always thankful to her.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
Mm.
such a different approach, and yeah, as you can say,
Yeah.
see, yeah. Um, Tell me, did you do something exciting during lockdown apart from, uh, you know, looking
You mean
after
what did
yourself?
I do? Yeah.
It's like a hobby or something.
Actually, so I trained a bit, of course, when I could, when
Yeah,
I was not sick.
yeah.
I love to read, I love books, and I love to write. So
Oh, okay.
I wrote about all the books I was reading, and I'm used also to write from many years my thoughts and sometimes my days or some feelings. So I had the time to read them again, all those
Yeah.
books, and I had time to write some memories. I had time to write some, I don't know, poesy, or I really like to write. It's a
Yeah.
for me it's a way to put out of myself all the emotions or the problems or the feelings. And
Mm.
if I don't write them, I keep them, and it's too much for me. So I
Mm.
find it's a bit like dance. It's a way
Yeah. To
to
express yourself a little bit and
express and pull out many
mm.
feelings.
And
And
was it good to read all those things that you've written before?
yeah, it's helping to see the evolution somehow,
Yeah.
because as I told you, during 9 years I was
Mm.
completely focused on my work, and I was working every day, and it was like a fast road, really. And suddenly, with this stop time, I could see the way I did,
Mm.
and I could think about the way I will do. So
Yeah.
it was really nice, this to
Mm.
have time for this.
Mm.
Otherwise, I took more time also to cook, because usually
Okay.
as a dancer we don't have
Yeah.
so much time to really care about this. And it's
Mm.
the food, it's extremely important in our job to be healthy, but to take time for just the pleasure of it, it was good for
Mm.
me.
And I think, yeah, to have enough time to sit down and have a meal in,
Yeah,
relaxed time and not
not in a
not
rush before a performance, so long time before the performance, not too much, not too late, or not too, yeah, not between two rehearsals, or yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it was
So
good.
in a way, I think in a way also your body's, had that time to rest or to
Yeah,
renew a little bit
a
and
lot.
yeah. So I think,
Of course, there is some negative things that we lose a bit the shape. Of course, when we are after quarantine, we need to work again and come back to basics. But I think it's really healthy. And as I told you, I'm sure I won some years of life, because suddenly I rebuilt some energy,
yeah, yeah. Mm.
and I
No,
think
I
it's
think so.
important for themselves.
Yeah. No,
Mm.
I think when we're going to look back on this, if you think, I mean, what everybody says is that a dancer's career is not so long, but still, if you look in a lifespan, then a year it feels a lot now, but I think you will be able to catch up again, and I think, or let me ask you this. Do you think you will now, as a dancer, also from this time of a lot of thinking and about your artistry, also uh, do it differently, or experience it differently?
Yes, I think it's helping me to take distance with the stress and the super activity of our job, that usually we are really rushing to the goal every time, and the performance, it's a magic, but it's also a huge, I don't know how to explain, a ball of energy that you have to care about this, and you have to manage it, and then it's an intense life, really, and I love it, and I wouldn't do something different, but it's good to realize that life, it's not only this, and we can do it even better with some distance, and by caring about the body more, by thinking about the private life more, and yeah, also this break gives us the wish to come back and to do it again, and to do it different, and to do it better. When you stop something, or when you miss something, then you go for it even more, and
You appreciate it actually
you
more.
appreciate it, and I cannot imagine when we're gonna go on stage again. It's gonna be really special.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward.
That would be amazing. But tell me, what is your wish for when this is all over?
When the lockdown is over?
Yeah. When everything goes back to, I wouldn't say
I
normal,
really wish, I wish that we're not gonna have too many consequences of this lockdown. And I really wish that people are gonna come back to theater to watch us, because there is also the question that we are thinking about is that, of course, us artists, we are gonna come back, and we are gonna come back full of joy and energy and wish, but what about the audience? What about the people who are gonna be maybe used to not come anymore, or who are gonna be used to maybe check it from their home? And I really hope that the society is not gonna change in the bad way, that the culture is gonna be really the third or fourth level of what we need. And I really hope people will need to come back also to support us and to watch performances. And yeah, this is a problem that maybe we are not doing enough. I don't know how to say it, but some advertisement, like we are not showing us enough in those days, that people maybe are forgetting about us and about art.
Well, this is why I'm talking to you, so that I make sure that nobody forgets, and that I make sure that everybody understands, because I think the more we put this out there and let people hear and let people understand, and I think I have the feeling that, you know, people will also now start being more eager to go out, because of course we are all just stuck at home. So I think this this feeling of going out and going to the theater and maybe going out for a meal and things like that, that the audience also, you know, like yourselves, you know, there were things that you missed. And I think this thing that hopefully that the audience would also miss that and go back and you know, so so let's wish that would be definitely for the artists, because as you said, that energy from the audience, that is really what you miss and what you also need, you know.
Yeah, because we are not, as a dancer, I'm thinking that I'm not really working for myself, because let's face it, to work our body as much as we do and in such an intensive way, it's not natural, and it's we find the pleasure in it because there is a hidden meaning, but you cannot find the pleasure of only working on your body. There is always a meaning for this, and yeah, why we do this, it's for this, it's to give our work to something.
Yeah, amazing. No, don't worry, that's amazing how you described it.
This is what I feel, but I think I'm really sure that in my company, for example, in my colleagues, some dancers are thinking differently than me, and I can see some dancers are maybe more about to work the body and the pleasure of the training. I can see some dancers are much more into it to just work almost like a physical job, like something really athletic. And for others, some other dancer, it's we do this job for a different reason maybe, and this can be different from a dancer to another. Someone gonna really like the athletic part of this job, and someone gonna more do it for something higher than all of us. And that's I think we do this for something higher than us, and not only for
well, that is art, isn't it? That it is supposed to be for something higher. That
but you know, the ballet, actually dance, it's one of the art in the limit with sport. We never really know, and of course we know it's art, but there is a limit. Like there is it's between sport and art. So I'm sure some dancers are more sport part, and you know, for me it's an art.
I think it has become over the years also more you know,
exactly
seen as a athletic type of thing or activity, but as you say that but the initial idea of ballet was that it is an art form, you know. So I totally agree with you. But Alice, this was so lovely. You actually.
And what about? Can I ask you one last question? How you take the pictures of those artists?
Yes.
So you are mainly in Vienna, no? You told me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice project to make a book about those pictures.
Thank you so much. Yeah, these artists are all here. They many international artists, and this is also what I discovered. In the time since April 2020 when I started, of course, there were so many things that I've learned and that I've you know, learned from musicians and from the dancers perspective. I know a little bit because of the background of my children that's in ballet, but it's also fascinating to hear now that internationally, you know, how everybody is affected, and as I say, it's for me, it's like the artists in the windows are for me a way of starting a conversation. It's not a protest, it's nothing, you know, it's really just to say, here are the artists, you know, they are at home, and these windows are a little bit of a insight into their lives, and you know, so and these Zoom conversations as well, you know. I think it's very important that we have these discussions now, and not only stream you know, a ballets, and that's also important, but it's also important to get a bit of an insight that what are these dancers now dealing with, and of course because of your bodies and so on as well.
And the window, it's the question also. When you look through the window, you are thinking at the window, and also the window, it's to watch through the future, or to question about the future. So that's what artists are dealing with those days, about now, what we are, what we mean, and what's gonna be.
And you know, the windows have become for me very symbolic. You know, there were many, there's many symbolic things that I now think about these windows, and you know, this and I didn't initially when I started realize all these things, but of course it's is also a way, the windows also for me is how the artists project themselves in these windows. This was also for me fascinating because, you know, they have just this window, yet I get so many pictures. I post one picture that I choose, but you know, for many there were sometimes 7, 8, 9 pictures that I could have used, you know, that they've given me. And sometimes it's a very small window, but some reason they're so creative in this window and so they do so much, you know. And this is also, you know, that I realized that your minds are just so different, you know, your minds are just so creative that here I say pose in your window and they use this little space and this, you know, and they give me these wonderful pictures. And what's also fascinating was that we would talk about these serious stuff, you know, and talk about these topics, and some of them freelance artists didn't have any money by that time and so on. Yet when I say, okay, let's take the picture, it's like a switch, you know, it's like then it's this performance in the window. It's like, oh
exactly,
yeah, and it's, you know, and I never ever
we have
said,
this possibility of creativity.
Yeah, I never ever asked one person to smile. I've never, and they all give me, I literally stand outside with my camera and whatever they give me, I photograph, you know. But yeah, it's, and this is also, but now the
it's
Zoom.
really good idea. It's nice
the
project.
Zoom,
I'm glad you contact me.
I'm so glad that you said things that gave me goosebumps while you were talking, really. But these Zoom conversations now for me are windows as well, you know,
You
because
can use it. Yeah, you can
thank
use
you
it.
very much.
This one.
Thank you. I will send you the link when I do.
Yes.
I will, yeah.
And let
but
me
it's
know about your process and all what you are doing, because it's really interesting.
Thank you so much. Yes, please. I would love to. I've started writing already. But as I say, I thought it would, I've actually started writing, and as I was writing, I thought to myself, but now I only have the perspective of Vienna. And I was talking a lot about, I'm writing a lot about how I come from I come from South Africa, from an industrial town in South Africa where we didn't have a theater. And yet now I'm in Vienna and I'm photographing artists, you know, in windows, and I would never ever in my life have thought that that was completely, you know, so distant from where I grew up. And as I was writing all these things, then I also started thinking, but what about international artists, you know, and this is why I started then doing these Zoom interviews. And yeah, it's been really interesting, but your conversation is very touching. Whenever you come to Vienna, would you please write me? I would so love to meet you in person.
I've been once, and it's a lovely, I had lovely memories. So I would be really happy to.
Okay, but please will you write to me? I would really love to meet you. Yeah, yes, a very special girl. Yeah,
me too.
Definitely.
And let me know about your projects.
I will definitely. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.